A god of war and a realm master that Yencheng has hired heavily, have been diagnosed with severe symptoms of muscle weakness by the hospital. This disease is very mysterious, and the medical community has not figured out what this ghost disease is. Once sick, the muscles of the whole body will gradually lose their strength, and the skeletal muscles are very easy to fatigue. That is, the body is weak and tired. If the condition continues to worsen, a young male laborer may not even be able to hold a bottle of water. In more serious cases, you can't even control your eyelids. The doctor in the hospital conducted a very systematic examination on the god of war and the realm master, and found that there was a big obstacle in the neuromuscular transmission of the two, which was a typical symptom of muscle weakness. In fact, this was mainly because Charlie used aura to seal the meridians of the two of them, but the doctor could not explore the existence of aura, and could only determine that they had muscle weakness from the clinical manifestations. This makes Gu's second and third sons unable to understand what happened. Obviously, he is a master of masters. When he arrived at Gu's house, he was lifted up by the kid like a chicken, and then he became weak? This is too damn mysterious, right? Is that kid a hidden master? But master of the hidden world pretends to obey the basic law as well. Why do they cause muscle weakness by pinching their necks? It's like touching other people's faces and turning them into impotence. It's unreasonable. The two families are very sad and want to find a chance to teach the kid from the eldest brother's family, but they don't know what is his last name, let alone where he comes from. In fact, the most important thing is that the god of war and the realm master did not have a trick under the hands of others. Who else could they find to help kill them? Yencheng was even more depressed. Not only did he lose a god of war and a realm master, he was also broken by Charlie, which can be said to be a heavy loss. When has he been so wronged? At this moment, he even wanted to kill Charlie's family. It's a pity that he couldn't think of how to avenge the blood and hatred at this moment. Yangang was clutching his aching bladder. Seeing that his second brother was frantically licking his teeth, he hurriedly offered a plan. Second brother, I say this, in fact, you don't need to retaliate in a hurry. Let's take the shares in the hands of the older brother first. Yes, Dad. Yanggang's son Weiliang also said, my third uncle is right. We should get the shares and family property now. This is the top priority. Yencheng said coldly, that's right, I think your uncle will not be alive within a few days, at most 2 or 3 months. Let's get the money first, and then find that kid to settle the account. Yangang hurriedly asked, second brother, what good idea do you have for the board of directors tomorrow? Yencheng sneered, I have already told several other shareholders that half of them are willing to cooperate with us to seize power. Although the remaining half are still thinking about the good of elder brother, it is not to be afraid, because we are now united. The share of Rising has exceeded 51%. Yangang asked, then we will force the eldest brother to hand over the position of chairman tomorrow? Yes. Yencheng gritted his teeth and said, at that time, I will come directly to the board of directors to force the palace. With the equity of the two of us and those who support us, we will directly vote to abolish his chairmanship and recommend me to do it. The new chairman. This will be able to reasonably and legally take over the GU group. As he said, Yencheng couldn't help but smile and said, when I get the chairman's seat, I will begin to transfer the assets of the GU group. Yangang smiled and echoed, after the assets are transferred to other company shells, the big brother's shares will be empty and have no value at all. Weiliang hurriedly asked, Dad, what about Uncle's personal assets? He has so many deposits, mansions, luxury cars, private islands, private jets, private yachts, and a large number of antiques. It is said that he has collected celebrity calligraphy and paintings over the years. That adds up to billions? Billions? Yencheng curled his lips. You too underestimate your uncle. The calligraphy and paintings in the hands of President Wanda are almost over 10 billion. The calligraphy and paintings in your uncle's hands are less than 2 or 300. Hundreds of millions. These are all held in the bank vault. Weilang's eyes flashed greedily, and he said excitedly, "Dad! We must get this batch of calligraphy and paintings. Real estate can't rise now, and future income is limited, but the appreciation of antique calligraphy and paintings is really too much. Look at the famous paintings of the world's famous artists. Which one can't start with 100 millions? Yanzheng nodded and said coldly, "Don't worry, I already have a complete plan. I will first take the position of chairman, then transfer all the assets of the group, and then force your uncle to make a will and the property is given to us. Otherwise, I will never make him feel better. Even if he dies, I will not make his wife and daughter feel better." Yang rubbed his hands in excitement. "Then wait for the board meeting tomorrow, and give my dear eldest brother a good show." Yanzheng smiled and said. At that time, Zhao Kuangyan and Isaac Chao mutiny and Huang Pao was added to force Gongchai Zunzong to meditate and establish the Song dynasty. Tomorrow, Yanzheng will launch a cultural change on the board of directors to force Philip to give way and rebuild a more prosperous GU group. Yang licked his face and said, "Second brother, don't forget your brother when that happens. You will be the only one looking forward to everything in the future for your brother. That's natural." Yanzheng patted Yanggang's shoulder with his left hand, and smiled. "You and I have been living in the shadow of the boss for so many years, and it's time for the two of us to get started."